is trending on Reddit right now because I guess laser weaponry is more advanced than many would think. This is not AI. This is not even like the beginning of some of these laser weapon videos. It's freaking shocking, dude. You think drone technology is the Russia-Ukraine war videos we're watching of them shoot, bird shot at a drone coming at them. How about a multi-million watt burst of energy that cooks its electronics from midair? Dude, the future, if we let the ruling elite, which are manipulating and trying to enslave us, if we let them get too far along here, man, I'm telling you, we'll be up against the strangest. They won't even need to use this, to be honest. They'll just crank up the cell towers, and it will be like the movie Cell, where everyone turns into zombies because of the cell phone towers and the frequencies they emit, because our brains run on frequencies as well. Dude, there's something coming around the corner. Didn't you hear they just announced Xfinity launched a new function with their Wi-Fi router, which can detect motion in your house from someone walking around if the Wi-Fi is on, because your body disturbs the field of Wi-Fi signals coming off the router, which can paint back a picture to the router of what's going on. Think of Avatar when they're sitting at the table looking at the battlefield in real time, but with a hologram. They also have that in the Hunger Games. So we got to keep our head on a swivel, man. Something's coming around the corner. Okay, so this...
Hey, Shalom, Shalom. Call halal, YAHAWAH, BAHASHAM, YAHWASHI, BAHASHAM, QADASH. That's giving all praise to the Most High, in the name of His only begotten Son, in the name of the Holy Spirit. Double honors to our teachers, the elders and apostles of Great Millstone, who taught us His truth and sincerity. Peace and salutations to the hopeful elect scattered abroad. Shalom to 144,000 and the brother Ibar from the GMS Tampa camp. And real quick, man, you see in this video right here, bro, all right, this man is getting ready to unleash some hell, all right? It says laser weapons, all right? He has laser weapons, okay? Some of these comments says, how do you think wildfires happen? And we're the crazy ones, right? Somebody else said, ever heard of Project Bluebeam, my boy? Way more advanced than this. And he mentioned, the holograms, which they talking about this whole, 6G thing they trying to establish and get that up and running, which is going to make the holograms better. And they show you that in a lot of these movies, how they can, project holograms and make it seem like somebody's in the room. They're not even in the room. He mentioned the Wi-Fi thing, how they can tell how many people are in the room by your Wi-Fi router. So basically, knowledge has increased, man. And Esau, he has used this technology to, he's using this technology to, somebody said stolen technology. Somebody else said these types of guns have been around since the 80s. Look into the Panama invasion, right? And when you go into that, man, that right there, hey, show you Esau Ben had this. Imagine what he has now. There's a lot of stories and reports of U.S. soldiers walking around with laser weapons, cutting cars in half, cutting people in half. This is what they're going to do in this time we're coming into. This is why we're going to need YAHWAH BAHASHAM YAHWASHI. The Lord going to have to lift up a standard and give us that power, because this man he going to have some shit, bro. Lasers to cut you in half. It says cutting people in half. They used the Panama invasion as a testing ground for a lot of tech they had at the time. If that's what they had in the 80s, imagine what they have now. Right? So, man, we in that time, bro. Okay? And people are are definitely catching on. I believe what he was, cutting up there was metal. Okay, with that laser or that laser gun. All right, so yeah, man, we in that time, and Esau, he got all type of technology now. He gonna use it against us. He gonna use it against the elect. Okay, he gonna use it against the people. All right, and if you ain't in the right spirit, or you ain't serving YAHWAH BAHASHAM YAHWASHI, you will be taken in these times, man. Okay. It says a Vietnam vet told me they were using Star Wars type weapons like this during the Vietnam War, and still lost. Somebody said people laughing and saying propaganda. The stealth airplanes were designed in the 50s, made in the 60s, and that's when they finally released the information. Fiber optics have been around since 60s, 70s, which uses high powered laser to transmit the light. It's hard to imagine the stuff they have today. They can use the radio waves from your Wi-Fi router to completely paint a radar picture of your whole home and people inside. I did a video a few weeks ago. They got these new helmets, these new military helmets, where They can see through walls. They can see people on the other side of walls. So Esau's going to use all this technology, okay? And then, as I've been into my last video, all hell is about to break loose, and he gonna use it. He gonna use it against us. Paint it in blue to avoid the dew. If you know, you know. Right. You got we went into that a few years back with the dew weapons, okay, which is direct energy weapons, okay. They show you that in a few shows and movies. One movie is Akira, when he was basically the main character. He had power. He had spiritual power, and he was I guess tearing shit up or whatever. And all of a sudden, his beam came down, and it started heating up, and it tore his arm off. It burnt his arm off. All right. And also to show Invincible. It was a scene where they came after Omni-Man, and they pretty much used the a satellite type weapon that it had a direct energy weapon on it, okay, and they try to they use it against Omni-Man. But another thing they showed you too, I believe it was in one of them, either Invincible or Akira, where it had 144 on it, which shows you that Esau is going to use this against the elect men. It says well, if the Hawaii fire conspiracies are true, then I'll bet this is how they were started, but on a larger scale. Right. So people are finding out, peeping game, what Esau is doing. Okay. You got people that scoffing and saying, no, they're in denial, but those are the ones that's going to be getting cut in half. Okay. Call of Duty ray gun. I thought about that too. We was talking about that at camp. Esau got all type of technology. He got plasma and ray guns and stuff. Okay. So he gonna use it, man. He gonna use it, and we gonna need YAHAWASHI in these last days. We got laser guns before GTA 6. Yeah. So somebody said the U.S. used laser for years. Yeah, and now they got it on their on their Navy ships, where they can shoot you with a laser from miles away. All right, so pay attention. Stay alert. We definitely in that time.
Okay, so this video is trending on Reddit right now because I guess laser weaponry,
look at that,
is more advanced than many would think. This is not AI. This is not even like the beginning of some
laser weaponry that they gonna be using. All right, like I said, that's why we're gonna need spiritual power, man. That's why we're gonna need YAHAWASHI. But let's go ahead and grab a few precepts. We're pretty much done with that. Let's go over here. Straight to the point. Let's go to Daniel chapter 12 and verse 4. It says, But thou, O Daniel, shut up the words and seal the book, even to the time of the end. And we in the end times right now. Many shall run to and fro, and knowledge shall be increased. You see, knowledge has been increased, man. And this man has, perfected his blessing with the sword. That's a part of his blessing, the sword. Okay? This is why they want to do the 6G and all this stuff. This is all a part of his blessing. All right, the knowledge has been increased. It says knowledge is word for knowledge.
Strong's H 1847. Da'ath.
That's a lot. Make sure we good. Okay, we should be good. Let me just start it over just in case. Yeah, that was just in case the audio stopped. But it says knowledge, perception, skill, discernment, understanding, wisdom. So this is what Esau is doing with his technology now. He has increased his knowledge, his perception, and he's skilled with it, man. Okay, he's using his, that knowledge. I mean this technology, and he's become skilled with his technology. Okay, through the knowledge that really the Lord gave him. All right, this particular knowledge for his purpose. It says the Lord gave Esau the knowledge to create, the atom bomb, and then later the nuclear missiles. He gave him that knowledge, that information, so that it will be used against him. He shall fall by the sword. It says knowledge, cunning, unwittingly. It says ignorantly, unawares. It says it's a lot. Knowledge, cunning, ignorantly, knowledge, unawares, wittingly. Now I'm gonna show you this right here because when it says skill, when we go into this word for technology, I happen to look up this word technology, right? In the Edemon line. And you, as you read it, it says a discourse of testis on an art or arts or the arts, systematic treatment of an art craft or technique. But here's the point: it says art skill. Okay, so them having this technology, that's a skill, you know, and they get really good with that skill, and the knowledge that they have been perfecting to create these particular weapons and stuff. It says craft and work, method, system, and art, a system or method of making or doing. Craft, okay? And they're making these weapons, man. Study of mechanical or industrial arts, spinning, metalwork, or brewing, all right? So Esau has perfected his blessing. All right, which is these this technology. Okay, ultimately it says verse 1, and at that time shall Michael stand up, the great prince which standeth for the children of thy people, and there shall be a time of trouble such as was never since there was a nation, even to that same time. And at that time thy people shall be delivered, everyone that shall be found written in the book. I brought this on my last lesson, which is talking about the elect. That's the ones who are going to be delivered. But everybody else, they're going to be getting chopped in half with them laser guns. This technology Esau got. He going to have all type of stuff coming out the woodworks, man. All right. That's why they show you on these games. You play Call of Duty or, what is it? Fortnite. I was playing Fortnite the other day, and I was playing this mode called Heist, where you got pretty much different levels of people you got to go through. And there was one level where they had lasers. They actually had laser guns. So this is no coincidence, man. Or I don't know why I keep doing that, man. A little when the audio was still there, but I'll stop it again. Yeah, I don't know why I keep doing that. Salakia. But yeah, Esau, he already has this, his science fiction. All right, which is truth is stranger than fiction, man. All right, he has this stuff already. It says in NLT, it says, at that time, Michael, the archangel who stands guard over your nation. We're going to need the archangel Michael, okay, to come down here and deliver us, to protect us from this time we're coming into that, what this man is about to use, will arise. There will be a time of anguish greater than any since nations first came into existence. But at that time, every one of your people whose name is written in the book will be rescued. We got to be rescued from this man. All right, because he's about to unleash all type of hell. All right, like what happened over there in Venezuela. They went in there and in the dead of the night, killing people. All right, now they're saying how you had this guy Maduro had the Cuban military protected him, and they killed a lot of those troops. It said 32 troops. Don't be surprised when they say 33. Okay, we know this is all according to this man's plan. This is all, a part of the world stage. All right, Esau's getting ready to move like never before. All right, let's grab this real quick. Cause I brought it in my last lesson, but I'll bring it out again. All right, for edification's sake. All right, because this is the time we're coming into, man. All right, we're going to need YAHAWASHI in these last days more than ever. All right, it says Matthew chapter 24 in verse 22. It says verse 21, it says, I'm reading the NLT, the KJV this time. It says, for then shall be great tribulation, such as was not since the beginning of the world to this time, nor ever shall be. We coming into a time worse than any time in history. He got shit you can't even imagine. They said he had that in the 80s. He had that back then. Imagine what he has now, okay? They're not going to tell you what they have now. They said the military is 50, 60 years ahead of the technology that we see, now, right? And except those days should be shortened, there should no flesh be saved, but for the elect's sake, those days shall be shortened, right? So the Lord speeding up the times for the elect's sake, all right? Let's go over here. Because you got people saying, oh, this is propaganda and okay, you people keep playing fucking stupid, keep playing dumb. Okay, it will show you that everybody ain't meant to get it. It says 1 Corinthians chapter 14 verse 38. But if any man be ignorant, let him be ignorant. You think it's sweet? Hey, keep thinking it's sweet then. All right, you gonna find out. You gonna find out what these niggas saying? Trump and Pete Hegseth. He effed around and he found out. That's the spirit of Esau. The Lord putting that old Edomite spirit, that old serpent spirit back in these Edomites. They getting ready to start ruthlessly just start taking what they want, killing whoever they please. Okay? 2 Corinthians chapter 2 verse 11. Lest Satan should get an advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices. We ain't ignorant of what this man doing. We see what you're doing. We understand what he's about. In the NLT it says, so that Satan will not outsmart us, for we are familiar with his evil schemes. See? Satan can't outsmart us, but he can outsmart a 2/3 nigga, man. Okay, a heathen. That's simple. The thing is that it's all sweet. It's all, peaches and cream. It's a big game. This man is about to unleash all type of hell. He about to unleash all type of wrath. Okay? And if you don't repent, you will be caught up in that destruction. You will be caught up in those judgments, man. All right? Let's grab this, man. Because we're going to need that power, okay, in the times we coming into. That's why the Lord going to give this man power. Because Esau got power on the left-hand side. We're going to need power on the right-hand side to combat the power that he has on the left-hand side. All right? It says it right here. It says, Isaiah chapter 59 verse 19, it says, so shall they fear the name of the Lord Yahweh BAHASHAM YAHAWASHI from the west, and his glory from the rising of the sun. Which is what, you got Jake coming into this truth, coming into this knowledge, and they're beginning to reverence and fear the names of Yahweh BAHASHAM YAHAWASHI again in the earth. Okay? Esau took, the truth away, but now we're getting it back. It says, when the enemy shall come in like a flood, and the enemy, we have enemies. They're about to come in like a flood. Okay? You see how they came through Venezuela? They about to come in like a flood. From every single opening they coming in, man. You ever seen a flood? That water rushes through. It doesn't take it fast too. It don't take no time. This is how this man does it. He has something called breaching, where he'll breach a building or a wall, and he'll, we played that shit in the games growing up, bro. It was I remember playing Call of Duty and Modern Warfare, and they had particular times where you had to breach a wall, and you would breach the wall and it would slow down the time. But in a second, they breach the wall and they come in there, kill everybody in the room and save the person that was being held hostage. In seconds, bro, milliseconds almost, man. This is how this man moves. It says, when the enemy shall come in like a flood, the spirit of the Lord Yahweh BAHASHAM YAHAWASHI shall lift up a standard against him. Let's go into this word standard. He's going to lift up a standard. All right, this is where that power comes in. This is where it gets exciting for us. Because we ain't had no power this whole time, but now we're getting our power back. It says standard.
Strong's H 5127. Noose.
Noose, it says to flee, escape. Lord can give us a way to flee, a way to escape. When this man come down with that wrath like a flood, we gonna be able to escape. Everybody else not so much. He gonna make he gonna turn people. He gonna put people through a meat grinder. You heard the comment said, cut people in half. To flee, escape, to take flight. We're gonna be able to take flight. Like Superman when he boom and the ground underneath him, tear up. We're gonna be able to take flight. It says depart, disappear. We're gonna be able to disappear. You just dematerialize and rematerialize somewhere else. To fly, to the attack on horseback, be able to fly, to drive at, to take flight, to put to flight. We're going to cause them to run. They're going to shoot us with these weapons, and they ain't going to affect us. I had a dream of that, bro. I had a dream where they pretty much empty clips into my chest, and it was like a barrier. I had like a force field protecting me. Okay? Lord going to give us power, bro. And what? Then they're going to be put to flight. To drive hastily, to cause to disappear, hide. We're going to be able to hide from these, this devil, man. It says, vanish away, subside, escape, okay? Chase, impel. We're going to be able to impel you, okay? With your own body parts. Imagine somebody ripping your arm off and, and you know, putting it through your own chest. It says to make flee away, put to flight, hide, lift up a standard. That's what the Lord's about to do. He's about to lift up a standard. We're gonna need that power in the times we're coming into, man. Okay? The Lord said He's gonna make us a battle axe, a weapon of war. The Lord gonna have to turn us up, and that's why we go so hard for YAHAWASHI. Okay? Because we know He about to turn us up. Look at this. It says Isaiah chapter 54 and verse 17. It says, no weapon that is formed against thee shall prosper, and every tongue that shall rise up against thee in judgment thou shalt condemn. You see? So no weapon this man come with is going to be able to prosper against us, man. All right? No matter what he got. They just say how he you know, he had that laser technology for decades now, man. Since the 80s, 70s, 60s, he had laser technology. How much? So what he got now? It don't even matter. He got microwave guns. It don't even matter. They got heart attack guns. It don't even matter. It's not going to be able to affect us. Okay? No weapon formed against thee shall prosper. Okay? This is the heritage of the servants of the Lord YAHAWASHI, the servants. And you got to be diligently serving YAHAWASHI. For you guys that fell out, okay, that threw in the towel, hey, this ain't for you. Okay? You got to endure to the end. Scripture says, he that endureth to the end, the same shall be saved. Man, you got to endure to the end in this gospel and this truth. You fall out, you have lost the hedge. Scripture says, you shall not be defended. We got to be defended when this man come down with this wrath. It says, this is the heritage, what we about to inherit, of the servants of the Lord YAHAWASHI, and their righteousness is of me, saith the Lord. In the NLT it says, but in the coming day, no weapon turned against you will succeed, no matter what kind of weapon they got. Gun, missile, nuke, bomb, whatever they got, it's not going to be able to succeed. It says you will silence every voice raised up to accuse you. We're going to silence your voices, bro. Esau going to make all type of false, accuse of our brethren. Hey, you're going to silence you. These benefits are enjoyed by the servants of the Lord. Woo! These benefits are enjoyed by the servants of YAHAWASHI, man. Okay? Only people that's going to be able to benefit from these benefits is the servants of YAHAWASHI that's serving the Lord fervently and truthfully. And that starts with a man of great millstone. Okay? Their vindication will come from me. Our vindication will come from YAHAWASHI, man. I've never read this in the NLT, bro. I'm getting excited. Our vindication is going to come from YAHAWASHI. I, the Lord, have spoken. YAHAWASHI has spoken it, man. Okay? Scripture says the name of the Lord is a strong tower. The righteous runneth into it and is safe. We're going to be safe, bro. We're going to be taken care of. We're going to be good. Ezekiel 33 and verse 33. And when this cometh to pass, lo, it will come. Then they shall know that a prophet hath been among them. You're going to know who the true prophets was in this time, bro. I shared a post to the brothers the other day about this guy Sinetta. He had to admit, the most truthful and honest camp. The best camp out there is GMS, the camp that we in, man. Okay? School of the prophets. All right? The true men of the Lord. So you're going to know who the true prophets are in this time we coming into. All these other camps switching up the doctrine, playing games, selling out 501c3 charters, and, all of a sudden don't know what the MOTB is. Okay. Don't know what the name of the Lord is now all of a sudden. Okay. You niggas going to regret that, man. But we about to turn up in the spirit. When this man make his move, the Lord gonna make his move. He gonna make it through us. Call halal YAHAWASHI, BAHASHAM, QADASH, Barakatah, Princess of edifying to the hopeful elect. Shalom.